Have you ever had a panic attack? If you have, then you know how terrifying it is. It's not just being anxious, it's like your body goes into full panic mode and you feel completely out of control. If you've never had one, honestly, I hope you never do, because it's one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. I want to share my story with you, not just to talk about how bad panic attacks can be, but to tell you how I overcame them completely. I used to think I'd have them forever, that they were just part of my life now, but I found freedom, and I want to encourage you today because I truly believe you can find freedom too. So growing up, I never really dealt with anxiety. Not that I knew of. I was never a super anxious person, and I never experienced a panic attack before. That all changed when I was 27. I will never forget my first panic attack because it was honestly one of the scariest moments of my life. My dad was coming to visit me, and for some reason, before he got to my house, I started feeling really weird, like I couldn't breathe. My heart was pounding so hard and so fast, and I was all alone. I had no idea what was happening to me. I remember grabbing my phone and calling my dad, and I just said, "Dad, I think I'm having a panic attack." And I'll never forget his response. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know you got those." And I just said, "I didn't know either," because this had never happened to me before. It was so scary. And after that, I started getting panic attacks more often. Not every day, but consistently enough that I started to develop anxiety about having another one. If you've ever had a panic attack, you know what I mean. It's like you start being afraid of the panic itself. It feels so physical, like something is actually wrong with your body. And in those moments, it feels like you're going to die. After dealing with panic attacks for a while, I finally went to the doctor. I explained what I had been experiencing, and they prescribed me medicine. Now, I want to be really clear. I know that for some people, medication is really helpful, and I completely understand why people take it. But for me, it just never solved the root issue. I would take the medicine when I had a panic attack, and it would help calm me down, but it was only a temporary relief. It was like putting a Band-Aid over something much deeper. I even got put on a daily anxiety medication at one point, but I remember feeling so off when I was on it. I felt clouded, almost like disconnected from myself. And after a while, I just realized it wasn't actually helping me. It wasn't fixing anything. Most of my panic attacks were triggered by anything that made me feel unsafe, especially when it came to my health. I had them on airplanes, I had them while I was driving, I had them like at random moments when I wasn't even expecting them. It was like anxiety had taken control of my life, and I was just stuck in this cycle. A few years later, everything changed. I had started growing in my relationship with Jesus, and I was in this season where I could really feel Him working in my life, cleansing me, healing me, and teaching me so much. But there was one night that really shook me. I had been vaping, a habit I still had from before I got saved. And I had also taken like a magnesium supplement that night. And all of a sudden, I got extremely lightheaded. I felt so dizzy and weak. And then the panic hit me. And this one was bad. I truly thought something was wrong with me, like I was going to pass out or die. It scared me so much that I went to the doctor the next day. And when they asked me if I smoked or vaped, I admitted that I did. And they basically told me, yeah, that could definitely be causing some of your anxiety. That moment was a wake-up call for me. I knew I had been using vaping as a crutch thinking it helped me relax, but in reality, it was making everything worse. So right then and there, I decided I was done. I quit and I had never touched it since. Now, here's where things really changed. One day, not long after I quit vaping, I was driving to meet some friends at the beach. My whole day was planned and I was so excited. But then, out of nowhere, while I was driving, that familiar feeling hit me. My heart started racing and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And the panic was creeping in really fast. Normally, my first reaction would have been to turn the car around and go home to safety. But in that moment, something in me shifted. I just knew this is spiritual. Right there in my car, I started speaking out loud. I said, God, you are faithful. God, you are so good. This is not your plan for me. I will not live in fear. I declare in Jesus' name that this panic attack has no power over me. I just started saying every Bible verse I could think of, even if I didn't remember the exact words. I said, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I said, I will not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, I will pray and God's peace will guard my heart and my mind. And something happened. I literally felt God's power rise up inside me. Where I had felt so weak and trapped just moments before, suddenly I felt strong. I felt free. It was like something broke in the spirit, and I knew I was done letting fear control my life. And from that moment forward, I have never had another panic attack. So here's my encouragement to you. Panic attacks feel like they own you, but they don't. Fear feels powerful, but God is more powerful. The enemy wants to keep you small, to keep you afraid, but God has already given you the power to fight back. If you are struggling with panic attacks, I encourage you, speak God's truth out loud and make sure to do it out loud. Declare who He is. Reject that fear in Jesus' name, because the same freedom God gave me is available to you too. If this video encouraged you, let me know in the comments. And if you've experienced freedom from anxiety, I'd love to hear your testimony too. Let's encourage each other. And if you're still struggling, let me know in the comments, because I want to pray for you. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. God has so much more for you than fear.